Alrighty. So we're waiting for people to join, but we did say 3 o'clock, so we're getting ready to start right now. I'm seeing the views are going up. I'm seeing we have some live viewers. At this point, I want you guys to just type your names in the chat. Tell us where you're viewing from. This is part two of the Game Changers live with Jordan, part two of this series, where we will be delving a little bit deeper into our plans for this upcoming year and discussing the road forward, right? In the meantime, I think Jordan, you can tell us a little bit about yourself again for those of us who are new here, those of them who are new here. Just tell my audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay, cool.
Introduce yourself. Yeah.
Easy crash course. My name is Jordan Florenville. I am a Babonu native. I currently am living outside of Saint Lucia temporarily. I'm based in the Middle East. I kicked off as a personal trainer, fitness coordinator, working for a few hotels in Saint Lucia. Since then, I have gone on to start a business in fitness retreats. I have decided to pursue my dreams of competing in endurance-based events, whether it's um, we like to joke and call it a adult PE. So that lends itself to the likes of the CrossFit and the High Rocks. Um, I love ultra events, anything to do with climbing mountains, running through forests, running on the road, running through deserts. So I've taken on two ultra marathons. I've done four marathons and loads of ultra marathon. Not sorry, loads of half marathons as well. So right now the big goal is Mount Everest,
Mm-hmm.
and not just Mount Everest, but the summation of the seven summits. So seven summits represent the seven continents around the globe and the tallest peak in each one. I am one out of seven, and I'm hoping that in the upcoming, not even hoping, I know it's going to happen by the hook or by the crook, as they say. I will be submitting all seven of these summits and giving something even more to the St. Lucian public to celebrate and to be proud of and to build on. Like I keep saying, it's not there for me to keep in my house and for my name to stand next to these records in permanence. It's there for the legacy to be set, and I want it to be broken. I want it to be um, not overstepped or unnecessarily overshadowed, but I want it to be outdone. I want
Mm-hmm.
people to raise the standard and get this. So this is who I am. Um, I'm ready. I'm training. I'm pushing, and you and I and the rest of the people involved in investing their time, their energy, their craft, and their skills into this project. I am without a doubt certain that we are the future, and this is us taking that step. We're not the future; we're the present, rather.
Present, right?
We're the present, and we're taking that bold step now to be like, hey, we're not afraid. We're sharpening our skills. We might not have every arsenal or every single tool in the toolbox, but hey, we'll use what we have and we'll forge our path to get there. So yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
game on.
So we're speaking again about, this ultimate goal of Everest. But before we even get to Everest, we do have other things to do in preparation, like you rightfully said. And I like that you spoke about national pride and this as a means to connect with national pride as well. I know, like you said, you're one out of seven. I believe that you're referring to Mount Kilimanjaro Because I remember I wrote a story about that as well, and I know
Mm.
you've done, the 3 Pig Challenge in Saint Lucia multiple times. But how does that endurance translate to your approach as a business owner? Because I know fitness really is part of your business. It's adventure and fitness. These are the two things that come together to make your business happen. So how does physical endurance translate into your approach as a business owner? Does it correlate? I mean, I know your business is fitness, but does it correlate in any other way?
Definitely. And I always want to take my time and really think when I not just give my personal experience, but give information people might use to help their business as well.
Mm-hmm.
The fitness is very interesting in that it is something that is easier seen, I believe, by the outsider than the person actually engaged in fitness.
Got you.
If you were to ask someone, when did you get fit? They would struggle to give you an actual timeline,
Mm-hmm.
as there's multiple things at play. There's what is your goal or your standard of fitness. And for a lot of people, that changes as you get fitter. Also, even physically before your eyes, I would say I have that issue. Some people might call it a body dysmorphia. I don't think I'm that far in. But
Right.
you constantly see, or even if you ask me now, I
Mm-hmm.
still see myself as being someone who's quite slender. Now, to
Mm-hmm.
anybody else, they'd be like, you look very athletic, you look big, you look jacked. And I'm like,
Right.
not really. I see myself as again, still a work in progress, still
Right.
so many areas to work on. And the more I train, the more especially when you get a pump, you
Mm-hmm.
see you could be if you were to train more continuously. And so it's very hard to put your finger on a single moment or a single time. However, you understand that all of the reps, all of the time spent, whether it's through nutrition, sleep, dedication, discipline, waking up early, saying no to certain things and yes to certain things, you
Mm-hmm.
understand how cumulatively they've led to who you are now. And so that translates directly into business in that business happens in cycles. Your first 0 to 5 years, my business as well, because of fitness and because I understand I have done about 10 years in fitness. And
Mm-hmm.
where I am now versus from year 0 to year 5 of fitness is so different from year 5 to year 10. The goals, the understanding of my body, the
Right.
patience, my respect for what process represents. And I translate that into my business in that I know I am desirous of success and I am enjoying successes along the way. But I am very patient with myself because I know the ultimate goal or the big goal often shifts with changes in market, changes in
Right.
your goal, different experiences. So I think fitness has really taught me to be patient, to be willing to make adjustments and not necessarily expect all timelines to hit. You can do things within timelines, but be ready to make the adjustments. Be patient with yourself and also understand when external forces come and move you around, be ready to adjust. Be ready to go through the highs, go through the lows. Be ready to sometimes work very hard, not seeing anything happen, knowing that you've given everything today. You check the books, nothing's changed. You made a
Mm-hmm.
100 calls. You sent 400 messages within the week, within the month, no replies. However, I understand that me sending 400 messages
Mm-hmm.
not every message was the same. The
Right.
400 versus the first message is so much more refined. If I am willing and if I understand that, hey, I need to improve on this, maybe I just need to continue sending messages. You learn nuances that you could never learn had you not done it.
Right.
Now, through the 100 calls, you realize maybe I don't need to spend 10 minutes. Maybe I need to spend first 10 seconds. Maybe I need to greet this particular person a certain way. Maybe I need to jump straight to the point. You made no sale that day, but you learned the nuances that come in certain types of conversation.
Right.
That is a respectful process.
So
So
it's like
again,
reps,
exactly.
basically. Yeah.
It's not just rep because reps can be empty, they can be null. I would say it is conscious and deliberate repetition. You know,
Hmm.
there's a difference between, even as a trainer, me telling you to just 10 reps versus I tell you, feel every rep and tell me where this rep is coming from. Tell me
Hmm.
what's happening in your wrist. Tell me what do you feel in your bicep. Um, and then we actually record it and we review it. Those 10 reps will be worlds different from a simple null 10 reps.
Right.
So that's the parallel for me. There's a lot of real lessons. And when you have developed that patience and you've done it for yourself first, you know, you pick up quite a lot there.
Wow. That was that was a lot, but that really sets the groundwork for, where we plan to go in this conversation, and not just in this conversation, but um going forward, uh, along the lines of this event that we plan on hosting.
Mm.
So this run around Saint Lucia, or this trek around Saint Lucia, um what exactly is it about in your mind? What is the purpose of this event? I know it's part of a broader plan to scale Everest, like you said, but let's focus on the event itself. Why is that so
Mm.
important to you?
Well, the reason it's so important to me is because I want, first and foremost, to always think of home first.
Hmm.
Um, I understand that with what I'm doing, there is great potential for international collaboration to push myself forward, to get myself involved with some amazing people. But I am deeply invested in helping young men and women who don't have a blueprint of how to go about doing this.
Right.
I don't have the exact blueprint, but what I want to give people is an opportunity to see that, hey, I felt last year I was just going to pack my bag, do this myself, record it, and see what happens.
Right.
And sometimes that can work.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to do was, hey, I have people I know, yourself included,
Mm-hmm.
who have the expertise. I need to pitch these people, rally them, be willing to hear some no's, be willing to make some adjustments, be willing to at least give a real effort and attempt this. When it is done, another young person can say, hey, this guy was bold. I never thought somebody could do that. He's a Saint Lucian just like me. He's a Jobabono. He's whatever.
Right.
I can do this. And I want to be honest and let people know that I don't have all of the variables lined up, but here I am still doing it nevertheless, in the hope and with the will and with the actionable steps that this is a stepping stone for bigger things to come. And so Then the other things come into play. I think running for different communities is a
Right.
perfect opportunity to highlight, you know, every section of Saint Lucia. It's often highlighted our West Coast, the
Mm-hmm.
Soufres, the Ancillaries, the Marigos, the Brosiles, the Castries. But then the East Coast, to be honest, again, that's my own generalization. That's not the case. But with the East Coast, I only really think of quite rugged terrain of the Granans, the
Yes.
smell of the seaweed you smell when you're on the
Yeah.
way to the airport. And I'm like, whilst that is the case, there is so much beauty there that when you stop by certain places in Miku and Prale, you know, if you were to line or go out with someone, they could show you some amazing places. And so when I am going to circumnavigate the island, one of the things I hope to do in that documentary is highlight those beautiful points, not just views, but the beautiful people who may stop to help me, who may cheer me on. I want to give each community a short section to, do their thing. It's not going to be something planned. It's going to be quite organic, but I want to use it as a unifying moment for different communities on the island. So, you know, obviously, I would have loved to run through Barbo, and I'm still trying to figure out a way. Maybe I can get to Barbo
Right.
somehow, but
Right.
if I have the energy. But Barbo is not on either end. Barbo is kind of like northeast
Yes. Right.
of the island. But that's one of my hopes. It's really about not just being a catalyst, because I think that there's already a catalyst, but adding more tinder, adding more fuel to that fire that I think our era of young people have. There's so many amazing things happening, with people our age, whether it's scientific breakthroughs, whether it's business, whether it's achievement in media like yourself. And though I'm not a professional athlete, I want people to know that, hey, even if you're not an Olympian or a signed individual,
Right.
you can still successfully run this business, come back to your home, and yes, you might not get the reception or the collaboration you need, but you can be part of that first wheel that causes that real change. And for me, if I were to adopt the mentality that, hey, then people only check in for you when you make it, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
albeit being true in its own unique ways for these
Mm-hmm.
people, I'm not adding to the inspiration, I'm not adding to the blueprint. I don't
Right.
have to get it perfectly right, but I'm going to add pieces to that puzzle for somebody who is aspiring to what they cannot see a way. Because for me, again, a lot of these things I have to piece it together. But the one thing that has not changed is that I have continued to stay ready. I continue to train. I continue to try to network. I know there's areas I need to improve in, but this project is me saying, hey, pull up your socks, bro. Training is not enough now. You've trained, you're conditioned. Do the meticulous things. Do the admin. Admin is what you were running away from. Make
Right.
the call. Get in touch with these people. Let people know that you have this in your mind and see how well you can get people on board. It's okay for it to be in my mind. It's okay for me to talk about it, you and I, but let's make it actionable. Let's see how far we can take this. And once it happens, I always say, like a good business, like a good project, once that good project happens, you have a template, and that template can be built upon. It can be reverse engineered, or sometimes if it's really bad, it's discarded and you start anew.
Yep.
So this is what this project is. It's a gift to St. Lucians. I want them also to have some perspective. If they have a perspective of what it is to circumnavigate St. Lucia, they can get a small understanding of what it's like when I'm taking on ultra marathon, when I'm climbing Everest. This thing will take 30 hours. Everest will take 1 month.
Right.
So if I can do that and people can understand how hard it is, and they will see all the emotions, ultra marathons always strip you down to the bare minimum. Everything will be on display. And then, whether it be people in the positions of power, all the way down to someone who's just worked hard continuously, people can identify with depletion, with success, with overcoming adversity. All of these things are not unique to one person. It's something all of us experience. And I think taking on a challenge like that in local areas, people know, you know, just to end on that note, people know, right? If I'm going through ancillary, they know the hills. Just driving, you know how difficult those hills are.
Right.
You know, they know how hot Bexor can be if it catches me about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They know how scary it can be walking through canneries at night. There's snakes. There's not much light. You know, apparently these days Saint Lucia is full of venomous snakes. I saw a report on
Yes.
that. So, when that is one of the reasons why I want to do it and do it continuously. I don't want people to think, hey, I'm taking a break for a couple of hours and I'm coming back. It's just full on. It's non-stop. So once people can grasp that, some people might take it for granted, but somebody will be like, oh my God, that man is resilient. And I want to remind people and let them know what's possible for me is possible for you. It's just, I have a body of work that I've done. And if you were to decide and put in a body of work as well, whether it be cooking, IT, whatever, you too will separate yourself. So this is my separator. You don't have to do a run around St. Lucia to separate yourself, but you can
Right.
commit yourself to something and use it as your separator.
Got you.
So yeah.
Got you. Got you. All right. So we'll take a chat break. I know that Bill Seeker Stanislas is in the chat. Bill is asking, no martial arts events yet. Do you have any plans for martial arts events, Jordan?
Um, Participate in martial art events? No, not at the moment. I have plans that when I come home, I would like to collaborate with. There's a Muay Thai gym in St.
Right.
Lucia or
Right.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym.
Yeah.
The fitness has obviously parallels with the martial arts. So I can see room for collaboration. I am always interested, especially in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, to learn how to roll on the mat and add more disciplines to my portfolio. So I'm definitely open to that. But in terms of me competing, I grapple with it a lot because, martial arts, one of the reasons I didn't get into it deliberately, especially martial arts and high velocity sports, is because of the injuries. And
Mm.
especially at my height, shoulder injuries are not good for mountaineering, knee injuries, those are the niggles you end up gaining with martial arts, especially as you enter your 30s and 40s. So
Right.
open to it, very open to it, but more collaboratively than me going out and compete.
Got you. Got you. All
Mhm.
right. And that chat break was brought to you by Game Changers Merchandise. Those of you who are watching live, feel free to visit our Game Changers shop online and get yourself some Game Changers merch. I'm wearing some Game Changers merch. Jordan, we need to get you some Game Changers merch as well. Um
Do it,
to
man.
to
Let's
rock.
go.
To rock,
Do it.
right?
Get me some socks, get me some hats, get me some. I can even get a game changer patch.
Bag.
Stick it in
Oh,
my
patch,
bag.
yes, fine. Yeah. For
Let's do
sure.
it.
For sure. We will make that happen. We'll make that happen. All right, bro. So, how does this trek or this fitness journey that you're on connect with your business? Is it just marketing, or is it more than marketing for you?
To be honest, the I said I had this random thought just now. I'm like, I've been saying circumnavigating.
Right.
Circumnavigating is technically the correct term, but I feel like it's more of a maritime term, like for boats.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, um, it doesn't really connect with my business, if I'm being honest.
All
I'm
right.
not planning to use the run around Saint Lucia to promote my business by default, because my face is so much aligned with the business.
Right.
Naturally, it will help. But this is definitely a passion project. My business is about thriving.
Okay.
It's your thrive,
Mm-hmm.
being it's
Mm-hmm.
your thrive, I thrive. And so this is a moment for me pushing myself to thrive. So in terms of the theme and what it aligns with, yes. But our business is based about taking people on these retreats, on these experiences, to remind them of what they're capable of doing, to also help them to recalibrate. So, for example, one of our retreats in Portugal,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the focus is on slowing down, time to
Right.
recover, someone who is active. So it's about helping your circadian rhythm, which is your sleep pattern, to help it to reset, getting you back into that 7 to 9 hour rhythm. And so whether it's the breath work that we do, having your supper in good time and keeping the frequency so your body can find that rhythm, doing the breath work after, or getting the massage to settle your nerves and allow you to sleep, getting the fitness done early in the morning. These things are aimed at helping people find that reset and having people find that rhythm amongst other people who are like-minded. So there's no pressure to have a lot of alcohol. There's not pressure to revert to habits
Mm-hmm.
that you often would suffer with, because one, people are open, people are encouraging you, people are, and I always say we double down on island habits, which is good mornings, how are you, hugs, how are you, with a look in the eye, phones away,
Mm-hmm.
large table of sharing food. We deliberately try to make sure the food is put into big pots. So you have to pass it around. You have to look someone in the eye and give them, you have to say, hey, can you pass this over to me?
Right.
Otherwise, listen, you're not eating too well. You only eat what's in front of you.
Right.
And so this is more of a deliberate approach, whereas the event itself is a test of me.
Okay.
It's a, yeah,
So
that's what it
it's you versus the terrain, yes, but it's also
is.
um you showcasing I guess how far you've come as a Saint Lucian, because it's in Saint Lucia. I mean, Saint Lucia
Mhm.
is at least the starting point of this wider
Yes,
journey. So you're showcasing you how far you've come and how far you intend to go as well.
indeed. And just to keep that one short is, it's something I always wanted to do. The intrigue for me has always been, I can do this, or can I do this?
Right.
From the PTOS to running a marathon, the question has always been, I've seen people do it, but can I do this?
Right.
You know, do I actually have this in me
Mm-hmm.
to run around? Because again, I'm going to go on a small tangent. We often say these things as a hyperbole, right? You would say, yeah, he made a whole round around the island,
Right.
as a way of using that as an analogy to show how far it is.
Mm-hmm.
But no one would actually think he ran around the entire
Right.
island.
Right.
And so it's one of the things I often joke about with my mom when I really started pushing myself in that direction, going against the grain, as they would say. I would often take normal slogans and make it into things that were just not unprecedented, but it wasn't the norm. I'll give you two quick examples. People would often say to me, the thing about when life gives you lemons, make a lemonade. And I'm like,
Right.
if life gave me lemons, I would take the lemons, carefully cut them open, take the seeds out, plant them, start have a bunch of trees, and start my lemon factory. I'm like, if I make a lemonade now, it's gone. Like, I'd rather take the seeds from the lemon and start my small farm and then eventually start producing lemons on a mass scale. Another one was my mom would say, so if he jump off the cliff, you going to follow him?
Yes.
And I was like, yes. If he jumps off the cliff into the sea, we can do a sick backflip. And like, so it's like when people would say these things to me, I always kind of take them. I'm like, they would say like, you can run 100 miles, and I'm like, I probably could. It could. So it's moments like these where I get to actually. The first time I jumped off a cliff, the one in Cicero, I was like, my friends are jumping off the cliff. I followed them. I jumped off the cliff. So so it's so surreal, and it's almost like a funny moment, an irony in life to me.
Mm-hmm.
So um yeah, like that's why this thing is important to me. I honestly, as a kid, thinking crazy terrain we have in Saint Lucia, me do this? No way. And I'm like, that's why you have to do it. This must become something in your mind that is not beyond the border, beyond the realm of possibility. Why is this seeming so, oh my goodness, you can do this, you train for this. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've trained for it, and now I'm like, I will do it. And so the threshold of what is possible for me expands.
Interesting. Interesting. So I'm seeing that you're quite literally pushing yourself based on what maybe others seem or others perceive to be impossible or outside of the realm of maybe logic, right? Because I mean, most people in their right mind would not necessarily jump off a cliff if their friend jumps off a cliff, or most people would not necessarily run the 100 miles that you are willing to run. But you're pushing the human body to a point where it is challenging, all right? And would you say then that you are a maybe like a challenge junkie, not maybe so much of a adrenaline junkie, but a challenge junkie, a junkie that looks to find the best for themselves, or the best version of themselves through endurance and through these activities?
It's one of them. It it's I don't know. I think there's levels to this thing, man. And I just want to let people know that we're capable of doing it.
Okay.
There are people I follow, and I feel like they're in a totally different world.
Okay.
And to me, and to the rest of maybe my family members, I'm in a different world. And I'm just starting to tell them, hey guys, you think I'm in a different world? There's some real junkies. If you think I'm the junkie, there's some real neck deep people in this thing. And so, man, I'm just curious. Whatever it is, I've already told myself when I retire, if I'm still good, I want to get into languages. Why would I not want to learn some languages?
Right.
I might not be as cognitively sharp, but I still want to learn how to play some instruments.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever I feel is within reach. I think for me, those physical things are best achieved within this time of my life. I don't want to necessarily still be running 100 miles when I'm 60. I would like to still be able to do it,
Right.
but actively pursuing it, no, I would want a shift. I yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You know, I look at this kid. There was the Saint Lucian kid who swam from Saint Lucia to Martinique.
Right.
I have that article saved, and I look at it every time, and I'm like, I love that. I love it. I love it because for this kid at 13 or 12,
Mm-hmm.
people have no idea. You know, I've done the trip to Saint Lucia to Martinique, right? I threw up so much. I literally threw up so much in that bathroom. Oh my goodness. And so I remember how rough those waves were. I'm thinking to have that threshold of endurance at 11 or 12, this guy can always call on that at
Yep.
any point in his life. It might not always transfer the same. Whatever he's doing physically, he has that in the back of his mind. I don't know how much time it took him. Maybe I'm thinking about 12, 15 hours, maybe more. But that, I always tell people, young people need reference points. And it's when you don't have reference points of you overcoming adversity, you do not know how far you can go or how low you can go. You're operating in this weird steady state. And I tell
Mm-hmm.
people, when life really hits you, that's when you understand what your real standard is. It's so easy for me to tell you what my standard is right now. But when I
Right.
put you in the boat and I tell you you're swimming to Martinique, now we're going to see where your head is really at. Now we're going to see what the reps really mean. When I tell you, okay, Jordan, you've been talking about this navigating of St. Lucia for the last year and a half. Now it's hot. It's 48 degrees in August, 90% humidity, and you're in Canaries, and things are going south. You know,
Quickly.
you want to use the bathroom. Where do you go? You don't have toilet paper. You don't have nothing with you. What are you going to do? It's so easy to just say fire for that. People will say that was hard to begin with. Diamond too big, too much muscle, too much sweat, too hot. Why you choose to do it then? So again, is an opportunity to see who you are, and that's what I love. I give you one more story, and I love giving the quick stories. One of the best things that accidentally happened with me and my dad. My dad took me to a summer job. He was working in the marina, Saint Lucia Marina at the time, right?
Okay.
And he brought me to work with him. I think my mother was probably at a teacher's conference. Who knows? Long story short, he brought me there. Now, he needed some boxes, some cardboard boxes. And he told me, go to Glass and get some cardboard boxes at the time. And I think, I don't know if it's still there, but there was a Glass in the marina. So my dad was expecting me to go to Glass, get the cardboard boxes, and come back. Jordan had never really left Barbo, no. The only Glass Jordan knows is the Glass in Marley. So I was like, I don't know why my father sent me to do this thing, but I'm taking the challenge. He's testing me. So I am like 11, and I just remember backway glasses. So I started walking all the way on the road, 11 years old, from the marina to
Two
Black
glass barrel
Marrickville.
seal. That's crazy.
And it was like 11, so it was hot, no water, nothing. I get to Glass, people watching me, I'm sweating, and I'm like, my father wants some boxes. Then I get some boxes. They give me two boxes, and I'm walking back from Glass with the boxes. And bro, when I'm saying my father is testing me, I have to make it back. Bro, my dad fought to me maybe by courts, and the guy is blue vexed because he's like, what is he going to tell my mother? He lose out the child, nowhere to be found. But I think when he realized, like, I'm hot, I'm sweating, and I have the boxes, I'm saying, but I don't know where Glass is. There's only one Glass I know. He's like, he's like, but why do you think I would send you and walk all the way there just for some boxes when I have a van?
Because he was testing you.
And I was like, well, and honestly, I was ashamed because I was like, come on, Jordan, you
Yeah.
have to do better than that. But equally, that moment always stayed with me because I was like, bro, I did that, you know. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't really know grocery. I just knew it was a straight line and I would see glass. And I'm like, bro, I could have passed out. So many things could have gone wrong, but I was just telling myself, I can do this. He wouldn't send me there if I couldn't do it. I can do it. I have to prove him right. And I was thinking at the same time, my grandfather and them used to put bananas on their head and walk
Right.
for miles.
Classic
I cannot look
story.
sloppy today. I cannot look sloppy. So I think all of these things, man, these reference points have helped me so much. Small things, but it was the first time I had to walk for so long. Hudson, no excuses. It's just me and my mind. 11 years old. And I still remember it now.
So imagine what kind of memories the trek around Saint Lucia would bring for you. You know, I mean, if you still
Oh, yeah.
remember that core memory from 11, then I mean, this one that we're planning and we're working towards will be unforgettable for you, and not just for you. I'm guessing and hoping, but unforgettable for those who witness it, whether they witness it for content, whether they see you on the road, whether they witness it through this podcast, witness it through us talking about it. You know,
Hmm.
we know that it will become an inspiration for somebody who
Yeah.
might be going through a hard time or might want to do something in their life, not necessarily fitness related, maybe career
Hmm.
related, business related, um, education related, and they want to take this leap and they're not sure whether to take it or not. And honestly, this is part of the reason why I started Game Changers, to be honest, because I wanted to inspire individuals to be the best versions of themselves, to
Hmm.
get opportunities that, well, to rather to take on opportunities that they would not take on usually, right? Nothing was set in stone. The setup that I have currently for Game Changers is nothing compared to the setup I began with. And I still want to grow, still want to evolve, still want to do more, still want to be engaged in more content creation. Want to do more collaborations like the collaboration we're doing together as well. And I have big plans as well. But it's because I wanted mainly to become this motivator for the individuals. And I actually encountered a friend yesterday. We were just sitting down talking, an old friend from secondary school, and he
Yeah.
was just telling me how much he's inspired. He said he feels like he is honored to be in my presence. And I was like, well, I mean, I didn't even feel like I was so much of a big deal. But I mean, I just walk in town sometimes randomly, and individuals, I do not know the individuals, I've never met them before, never, probably will never meet them again, but they tell me, bro, don't stop what you're doing, continue doing what you're doing. And it's really inspirational because I get to understand that while this thing might not be making me a killing, I might not be having so much money in the bank because of it, and all of those things. I am building other building blocks that are more important than money. And these building blocks are blocks that will help somebody else develop in their lives. Maybe there will be a success story in the future that happens because of Game Changers. I never know, right? And I'm seeing that you have that, basically that same energy.
Yep. Yep. It's bro, you so on point with it. And while he was saying that, I also feel it's me paying tribute. Um, we're in that unique place where again there might have people who've done this before,
Yes,
and I've humbled
possible.
myself to the point where I'm like, listen, what Quinn is doing right now, there might be other people with podcasts, but Quinn will continue to push.
For sure.
Was this is where we are, but there's so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And I again, because of what I do, I understand endurance. Your goal right now is not necessarily to be the best podcast in Saint Lucia.
No.
Your goal is to endure and
Yes.
keep consistent and keep as much quality as you can as you endure. Because the beauty in that is what we often see right now on social media is I love seeing timelines from point A to point B. And you just keep on growing. And then you
Yes.
become what people associate with the standard because you've grown, you've moved with the times. And so that's what I see for you. In the early days, I was like, even your logo, I remember being a bit more, um, for the lack of a better word, more 2D.
You're right.
And now I look at the introduction of the drones, the
Yes.
different software, integrating new different platforms. I'm like you said, it might not be making you a killing, but it's the precedence. You're moving with the times. And
Yeah.
as people begin to use these platforms and they begin to search podcast in Saint Lucia, you know what's going to pop up? Yours.
Yep.
It might not be the greatest, but it's there. It's present.
Hmm.
You are the reference point for what podcasting may look like for Saint Lucia going forward. Again,
Right.
I'm not very plugged in, and I'm sure there's other podcasts going on.
They are.
But for me, you're my guy. You're the person that I will go to first because I see you across platforms. Likewise, for me, again, on the flip side, I see what I'm doing as a tribute to some of the guys who are still alive right now, as well as our people, Black people, and Caribbean people. I always say to myself, yo, not to make it overly deep, right? I hear that in my head sometimes on when I'm running. I tell myself, these people who made it across the transatlantic slavery didn't survive for me to come here and just be average. Like people
Right.
were jumping on boats, people were dying in their boat. These people did not survive, get there, have generations of people live, get liberated. Our forefathers who got the independence, the runners who are in their 60s and 70s and 80s right now who never had the opportunity, but they put their little marker into that marble to try to create something. They did not succeed in the way they might have hoped to.
Hmm.
I may not necessarily get exactly what I came for, but I will not come here and sit and just accept that's the way it
Average.
is.
Yeah.
Because if these people had accepted that the way it is, bro, we would be so far back. And so when we do these things, I don't necessarily think Selusha is going to change though, because I did a run around the country. But I do understand the 10, 15, one person who is enriched by this, bro, can completely change the game for what the face of an industry, a sport, an activity looks like. And that's what I'm here for. I have to play my part and play it well to the best of my ability because
Absolutely.
I'm not going to jump off the ship. I'm not going to lay down and die. And so for me, from the person that was brought over here through the transatlantic slave trade down to the person who fought for our independence, down to the guys who are still alive who might have made it to the Olympics and never got the true recognition or support they needed. I'm like, hey, you did not fail. I'm here. I'm going to push myself because I've seen what you've done and thank you. And now that's my part. That's your win, your work that you only now see 40 years from now. This young person was inspired because of that. It's the same thing for me. When I found out, oh my God, there was two Saint Lucians that went up to Kilimanjaro before me. I was like, you think I'm going to say now, oh, someone's done it before me. I will not do it.
Right. Right. No.
I was like, bro, game on. Game on. And if I get the chance to, you think I'm not going to try to go up again faster without oxygen and just get it? This is what I want to do. So kudos to you and kudos to the people out there who are pouring into young people and giving them opportunities, but we also have to understand we have a duty to do better, bro. We cannot just rest on the dividends of the investment of these people. We have to do our part and continue the cycle. So, I back what you do 100%. I see your work. I saw what happened with you in China, and I'm like, that's exactly what you needed. That exposure, that reminder that, hey, I was chosen, not that you're better than anybody, but hey, the opportunity is there. You're not going to waste it.
Absolutely
You're
not.
going
Yeah.
to, exactly. And that's it for me, bro. Like, that's why I'm doing this. Like I said, naturally, I expected to help with my business, but again, the old me would say, bro, I would just do that solo and record this on my phone. But
Right.
understanding the importance of making an effort to inspire and see the bigger picture, I'm like, okay, let's try to do this right.
For sure. For sure. And I think, and we're coming close to the end, but I think it ties into something that I've read before. Um, it's called the concept of the infinite game, right? So it's basically a game that has rules, that has a goal, but there's no end point necessarily. So, for example, an example of an infinite game would be health, right? You cannot necessarily win at health, but you can play the health game consistently. You can go to the gym, you can eat well, you can do all those things that get you points, right, and help you advance in the game, but don't necessarily help you win the game, because you cannot ultimately win at health. Although people say that you're winning at health, you might be winning at wealth. Well, yeah, you're doing well now, but that doesn't mean you're winning, because there's no end point, right? And I think that was developed by Simon Sinek. He's one of my favorite authors and one of my favorite people to listen to as well. And
Mm-hmm.
that is what I'm seeing that you're doing as well. You're playing this infinite game that is motivation, but also the infinite game that is a passion project of yours. That I mean, I like you rightfully said, this is what your passion is now. Maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now, when retirement is closer than it is now, your passion might shift. And that's fine. I always tell people, I don't believe that I will be thinking the same way I think now 5 years from now, because the way I think now is not the same way I was thinking 5 years ago, right? So things will change. But right now, in this moment, in this passion, what I do know is that I'll give 100% for this for now. And then when it does change, then I'll give 100% for that then. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. 100.
for sure.
Definitely. Definitely. I
For
agree.
sure.
I'm like, no, I have no contribution to it. That's exactly what it is.
For sure.
Um, hmm
All right, bro. So like I said, we're quickly wrapping up. The last thing I do need from you from this episode is I want you to let viewers know what exactly you need from the public. Because like you said, we're not doing this alone. Yes, the two of us are maybe at the forefront of it somewhat, you more than me. But my question would be, what do you need the general public to do so that we can make this a reality?
Okay. I mean, I'll keep it very transparent, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
What we need is three things, three categories. You need finance,
Mm-hmm.
you need coverage, whether that's social media, whether that is um, a newspaper, whether that is text message, WhatsApp status, whatever. Finance, coverage, and what we need, I would say, most importantly after that, is genuine support. Okay? And the reason I say genuine support is we need the conversations to start. We need people to give guidance if they have better ideas than what we have.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can share it, you can like it, but if you're thinking something that's you can add that would really help, and you keep it to yourself, you know, it just sits there and it dies down. So in terms of finance, money helps with everything. We know that
Yes.
money to, support the photographers and videographers who will be creating a documentary from this, money to put fuel in vehicles to transport people from point A to point B when they record, and to support me as well. Um, Financing stuff like, again, post production in terms of the videos,
Hmm.
stuff like bits of food for the people on the day, um, to pay some of the personnel who might be involved and any tools that they might need along the way. And of course, I will be transparent. Some of that money for the different tiers of sponsorship goes towards the ultimate conquest of Everest. So a lot of people have been asking me, hey, when are you climbing Everest? And I'm like, whenever the money is there. You know, these expeditions, no matter how passionate I am about them, they're
They cost
not
money.
things exactly, they cost money. And so I'm using this platform and this opportunity to, yes, be an opportunity to get all of us behind the project, but I want people to feel invested into the project as well. So they know when they're giving, this win. And this is why I always carry my flag with me. This win is never just about me. It's always about letting people know what this thing behind me is and what it represents. A resilient, strong group of people. So yeah, that's what we need. We need finance. We need um your ability to share, like, and support the content by keeping it going through the algorithm. So we keep the interest, but we also need people's support in terms of their ideas, their skills, anything you can do to allow this thing to happen and run smoothly. Whether it be a signature, whether it be a recommendation, whether it be a call, a number, some form of connection, that's un, uncalculatable value.
Absolutely, absolutely, and well, you know that I'm more than on board.
Yeah,
For
for
in that
sure.
regard, but like you said, we can't do this by ourselves. We do need more support and more backing so that we can make this a lived reality, not just for you, but
Mhm.
for Saint Lucia as well.
Yep.
So this is an official call to the general public to contact me or Jordan. You can contact us via social media. And I think that's the easiest way to reach out to us. Or you can reach
Yeah.
out directly to me at 1758 287 0365. Um, Jordan, you can feel free to give your contact as well.
I'm definitely. So you can reach me. Again, it's going to be a Qatar number, so it's going to look very random.
Right.
So the area code is +974 6615 1439. Okay. Or you can reach me through my social media pages. If the solutions will remember this one very easy, there's one called Go Hard or Stay Meg. You just plug that in on Instagram, you'll find me. Or you can get me through our business page, JE_Thrive. And then finally, if you just type in Jordan Florenville on Google, you won't struggle. It'll come up. I've searched my name before. So um, find me through any of these platforms. And likewise, use Quinn. He's supporting me on the ground in Saint Lucia. Time zone can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes. So if you need somebody to speak to, that's the guy. That's the guy.
For sure. For sure. All right, guys. So this has been another live episode. We will be following this journey as much as possible going forward, all the way up until the intended date. We don't want to say a date yet because we're still working out some logistics and technicalities to ensure that this thing becomes a reality. Like we were open and transparent with you guys. We do need finances and we do need additional support so that we can really develop this thing. But in the interim, I will let you know that we will keep you updated, and we want you to be part of this journey as well. That is why we're doing
Yep.
these lives. That is why we're putting out this content, so that we're not hiding it. It's not ours. It's well, like ours, like me and Jordan. It's ours, like all of ours. All of those who like this idea and are supporting this idea. If you support me, if you support Jordan, then you should be supporting this initiative as well. Anyhow, guys,
Check.
like I said, this has been yet another live and an interesting conversation. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow Game Changers across platforms. Check out our Game Changers website at gamechangers758.com. We have merchandise not just for St. Lucians, but merchandise for people across the Caribbean, as well as we are doing live podcast episodes now. If you have an event coming up, a business related event, DM me, reach out to me, and let's make something game changing happen. All right, guys, this has been
Yeah,
another amazing conversation. Thank you, Jordan, for coming on, and looking forward to seeing you again very soon.
definitely. Take care, everybody. Have a great week coming forward, and definitely more updates coming soon. Stay posted. Stay well. Believe in yourself. Keep trading. Let's go.
Yes, sir. All right, bye bye.
Check. I'm still here.